I do want to mention something that I get asked a lot is just like time frame. And of course, I know all of this isn't controllable by you or me, but I get asked a lot, okay, so how long but from the first call, how long can it be before I move into my new house?
Yeah.
And so, of course, some of that, I'll take my end of it first, and then I'll let you handle it. Some of it's how quickly we
Mhm.
find the house, right?
Yep.
Because you might look for homes for 3 days. I mean, shoot, I've gotten people under contract. I've met them and got them under contract on a house in 24 hours. But that's
Hmm.
not common. Most of the time, it takes weeks or sometimes months. It just depends on what you're looking for and what is available in the inventory in the market. But taking
Hmm.
that aside, assuming that we find you something relatively quickly, what does that time frame look like, Adam?
So it certainly helps if they're pre-qualified in advance because we've got everything already.
Right.
For the most part, we might get some updated items. Also depends on the loan program. For your specialty programs like MHDC and Essex, I usually recommend, like a 40-day closing if you can, like an on or before, because certainly with those programs, especially MHDC, we underwrite it, then that file also goes to MHDC for them to review a few things.
Yeah.
So I would say in general, generally speaking, most people do like a 30-day closing. This is like what I do all day. So we fully focus on things. You and I think, have had deals where there's been kind of extenuating circumstances and they've needed to close in like a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes there's an existing appraisal out there where they started with somewhere else, it didn't work out, and we're able to transfer it over, and that really helps speed things along. But people wonder, like, well, what's the lender actually doing for 30 days? We're doing a lot.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
we contact the title company to make sure that the title of your house is free and clear. We don't do that, but we make sure that the title company does it. We get the appraisal going, which appraisers, they're just like anyone that's any professional that's good at what they do, they're going to be busy. So that might take 5 to 7. Sometimes we get up to 10 days, just depending on how busy it is, unless you want to pay for a rush fee. We have to send collect documents from you, get that turned into underwriting if we don't already have those things.
Yeah.
So there's actually a lot for us to do.
Yeah. So, we say you get pre-approved, and that can be done. Adam's gonna cringe, but that can be done like within literally hours if there is an extenuating circumstance. But typically we see 24, 48, 72 hours, kind of depending on when during the week and what's going on.
If they're W-2 salary, decent credit scores, like everything makes sense. We've had people turn an application in and within an hour they've got a
Yeah. Yeah.
pre-qualification letter. The only
So
reason it'll take longer is because we're just trying to, like a borrower should feel like realize that we're working for free at that point.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's not like the easy thing for us would be just to tell everyone they're good, but that's not the right thing to do. It's the easy thing, but it's not the right
Yeah.
thing. Uh, yeah. When it comes to,
Yeah.
I
So,
think I,
then you find the house, you get it under contract. It's a typically like Adam said, 30 to 45 days. Again, there are ways to do that much faster if it's necessary, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
costs you a little bit more. There's a lot of factors in that, but 30 45 days, you go through your inspection process, the appraisal process, and then you go to closing. And then at closing, once you sign the paper, you get the keys, and the house is yours. There's a little more to it than that too, even on your end as a buyer. But yeah, typically, I mean, we can turn you around from start to finish in 30 to 45 days. And again, if you can't find a house, you can't find a house. It takes a little longer, but that's a good kind of a time frame for people to have in their minds, especially if they're renting right now and you're trying to figure out, hey, I got to turn in my 30-day notice, right? But I need to find something,
Yeah,
or my lease is ending. I tell people all the time, contact me 3 or 4 months before your lease
yes,
ends, so that
absolutely.
we can get the process started. And once you're at that point of like 60 to 75 days out, we can go find you a house, get you under contract, even if that contract period extends to 60 to 75 days. A lot of sellers will do that. Not all of them, but a lot of them will. Most of them won't do much longer than that. But there are ways to kind of do that. So that way you have some peace of mind. If your lease is ending, you already have a house under contract, you've probably already been through inspections, and you may have already had an appraisal by the time you turn in your 30-day notice. And that's the safest way to do that where, you're not going to be homeless, because
Yep.
that's when those extenuating circumstances that Adam and I talk about are typically people that are going to be without a home. They're not going to have a house if they don't get this done in a certain period of time. And so we will always do everything in our power to accommodate that. But you can often avoid being being put in that situation, because that's not a low stress type of deal. So
One final thing that I'd want to encourage people on if they're watching this is that sometimes there's anxiety with people on, will I qualify or will I not? I don't want to waste, they're thinking they don't want to waste their
yeah,
time. They don't want to waste our time. I tell people, like, I would say 10 to 20%, just kind of depends on the season, of people initially apply and they don't quite have everything working in unison enough to qualify. But our philosophy is it's never no, it's maybe not right now. So we'll actually oftentimes build a path forward. And sometimes that's just a couple of weeks of things that maybe they need to save up a little bit of money to pay something off or whatever it might be. Maybe it'd take a few months because they just started a business and they need to have that business for so long before they'll qualify. Don't feel bad about having us look at your situation and then developing a game plan for you. Actually, it's really rewarding to help people that maybe they've been told by 2 or 3 other lenders. Lender didn't really give them any direction. They get over to us. We, check things out. Sometimes we're able to help them right away. And then other times we're able to build them a game plan on what they need to do in order to qualify in the near future.